Cheers.
I'm not the only one, thank God.
To episode 86.
86. Cheers.
Cheers. 86 Gatorade Grape Lower Sugar.
You need that sugar in there to beef up.
I got some tea.
What?
God, you are old.
Man card.
It's Grant's leftover tea, so I'm actually drinking your man card tea, Grant.
What flavor?
It's that I had a bit of a sore throat, so it's like immunal.
From what?
Tea.
What do you think that sore throat is from?
Well, off the record, it's from.
Oh, we did that.
Yeah,
we definitely did that.
That's what it is.
Okay. So, like Lipton, is it the lemon tea?
I'll just show you.
Maybe just. Evan, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking straight water.
You've been on that for a couple of weeks now.
I know. I was a little late today. I had an emergency when I was going to go out the door.
Oh, no.
Something delayed me.
Is everything okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm just hydrating for this weekend, ramping up. And I just been so tired. Started a new job before we get a weekly check-ins, and I just like fall asleep at like 7 now and wake up and finish a couple things around 9 and go back to bed at like 9:30.
So right now is your nap window.
It is my nap window right now. Yes.
Everyday Immune sweet lemon.
Caffeine free.
Every villain is lemons.
Supports immune function. And I'll be honest, half this tea down, I already feel fantastic. So
Dr. Fauci told me that you can't get COVID if you drink that.
I don't have COVID.
Backed
I know
by
what
the
COVID's
CDC.
like. I've had it. This isn't it.
So we got sweet tea lemon for the first week of football. Interesting choice. We have Gatorade, and we got
your
water.
choice was interesting as well. G2. Can we talk about how gross G2 is?
It's not. Oh, actually, it is G2. It's the revamped G2. It's not the original G2, which was terrible. I agree.
You can't call G2 OG.
Yeah, when G2 first hit the market, it was quite possibly the worst liquid thing you could put in your mouth in the world.
Yeah,
it's disgusting.
It's really bad.
I wouldn't let Nash drink G2 when it first came out, but it's great now. He could lap that up all day.
You like it now?
It's delicious.
Okay.
But
coming from Alfredo boy.
Yeah, you want weird weekly Grant thing. I watered down my Gatorade because regular
He's
Gatorade
been doing that for years.
Is way too
syrupy.
syrupy.
Doing that for years.
Regular Gatorade is thick. It's just a lot of syrup.
Grant in sports in middle school and up would not consume the water or Gatorade on sidelines. He'd put it in his mouth and spit it out.
I don't remember that. That feels
yeah,
like
you used to do that in middle school football, and I thought you were psychotic. You're like, no, dude. If I drink it, I'll just get more thirsty. So I just put it in my mouth.
Gatorade, you do get more thirsty. It's proven
because it's salty.
Yeah, and they have a business to run, so they need you to drink more. Welcome in to the #1 sports podcast in Michigan, powered by
transition
Everyday Immune Sweet Lemon Tea. And let's all say it together, guys, on the count of 3. And 1, 2, 3. College football is
back. Evan and I were on the same page. You were not, Grant.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Yeah, I think for the first try, that was actually really good. So, college football is back. We're going to talk about that on this show. Bear with us, though. We are, you know this if you're a long-time listener, if you're a tier 1 listener, we're better at reviewing things that happen than previewing things that happen, especially week 1 games that should be blowouts. But we have things to talk about in this game. I found storylines. We're going to talk about the tailgating scene, which is I'm mostly interested in, is like the party atmosphere of the first game. But we will talk about the 2 college football games happening this weekend. We will talk about the Detroit Lions. They made some cuts. Hard Knocks episode 4, and any other miscellaneous things that came to our mind during the week of sports that was. And then weekly check-ins, which we will get to now, which the most recent thing is we work backwards in our lives. Congrats, Alex. Got the Michigan State hype video out today, and it was well received again.
Thanks, guys. Means a lot.
Are you still an employee of this podcast, or have you been poached by Woodward Sports?
People have called. Several outlets have called. Still a member of the podcast till I die.
Okay. This is an inside look into a business meeting of the show right here that I was thinking of on my drive home. Thought about it actually a month ago, but I remembered it today. We missed the window because we're not the best planners on this show, and it would probably take a lot of work. But there is something nice about this show that we just do it for free. We haven't sold out yet. Would we like to sell out and get rich off the show? I'll speak for us. I'd say yes. That'd be awesome. And as Alex put in a text message to long listener Ben today, if there was a way to translate our hype video success to our podcast success, we would be billionaires. Mm-hmm. We haven't figured that out yet. If there's any ideas, let us know. But what I did think that we could work on, maybe Alex, you can get the ball rolling on this because you have such an open schedule these days and you're a finance guy. I was joking about that. As finance guy of the show, what if we sold a sponsor for all of our hype videos?
I actually thought about that this morning.
Yeah. I was like,
and I personally think if I was just a random person watching a hype video and it started with presented by Sweet Lemon Everyday Immune,
no, we don't do it like that.
Like, this sucks. And if you watch the whole video with a little corner,
this is what we negotiate with them. On the right side where we put our Shot of Michigan Source podcast logo, that goes there, and in the left hand corner their business logo, and then in the tweet we just put Michigan State Hype Video 2022 season presented by
blah blah blah.
What's Ashiba's insurance company presented by UMW,
United Wholesale Mortgage.
Yep, presented by UWM.
Yeah.
Boom. I'm thinking $150.
But how are we going to sell that? Because we're only releasing roughly.
We can do more.
Probably 7 a year if we got crazy.
Well, Alex,
we're not going to make Pistons ones.
We will do more. We will do more if the money is there.
Yes.
We simply will. We will all become experts. We will rotate them. We'll be like, you got this one, I got this one. Because, I think an advertiser would enjoy 20,000 views in one day. Maybe, Alex, we start with you compile a report of our ones in history and do the average views, and we just put that in front of somebody and say, how's $100 say for you to come? Like, we can promise you this will take off, as the kids say, because like it's almost 100%.
We can almost guarantee it.
Yeah,
because none of them have flopped.
Yeah. And then we just do that until they do start flopping, because people are like, all right, we get one every 3 days from this account that's sponsored.
Okay, now we're done with these people.
Sponsored by Dairy Queen. I don't care. We're 6-6.
We're gonna have upside down.
Akron hype video.
6-6 Valero, Texas Bowl highlight video. Like, this sucks. Yeah. So that's our business meeting. Hopefully no one steals that idea. But if anyone knows anyone that wants to sponsor, this is our call to help. Mm-hmm. Let's get rich.
Well, we have one going out tomorrow. We could get a sponsor by tonight.
That feels like a tall task.
I'm gonna have to be out on this podcast. I'm gonna work the phones.
As they say in the corporate world, I don't know if I have the bandwidth tonight to pull that off.
We need a sales rep for us.
You?
No, I'm not the people person guy.
Cody with a C.
Yes.
Mitten
money. Pairs up with us. They're our sales guys.
You're talking about well, I didn't say we're going to do a full-on merger. That's a lot of legal talk.
That is quite a bit of documents needing to be signed.
I need a prenup for that.
Yeah, we need a prenup.
But yes, nevertheless, well, I would say you can look out for the Michigan one. It'll already be dropped by the time this probably drops, depending on how things go. But yeah, look out for that and more coming. Working backwards in time, Sunday, Alex disagreed with me. Evan, maybe I'm wrong. Thrones,
your
thoughts?
Is not valid.
Okay, initial thought. It's another build-up one. Obviously, it's not going to be as electric because the first one's the hook. You got to get fans back in. Yeah. Second one, now they're building up.
Spoiler alert starting now. Sorry.
There was a lot of drama. Oh, spoiler alerts, yes. There was a lot of drama But it's a lot of dialogue. But if you're an actual Game of Thrones fan, you know that every single dialogue conversation is important to the storyline, and it always comes back and it always relates back.
Couldn't have said it better, Evan.
There were some jabs here and there that if you were paying attention, okay, it matters. At the end, the king picking the not so young girl.
Allison.
It matters.
Saw that from a mile away. That was just based off.
Well,
looks.
yeah. As soon as
Grant, we're not telling everyone how smart we are. Okay.
No, I'm just saying.
Well,
that matters. That matters to the
will.
storyline. That's going to matter in episode 3. I saw a spoiler today that episode 3 is 3 years later after episode 2.
Yeah, and then it goes.
I hope not, but
20 years later after that.
I need to get to this crab feeder guy. I need him bad.
Well,
I need to look at this
if
guy's
we're going
face.
3 years ahead, we're gonna have to get something.
yeah, you're going to get it.
Wait, 3 years ahead or behind?
3 years ahead from the last.
Oh.
From episode 2, episode 3 is going to be 3 years.
So Rhaenyra
in the
and Allison are 15. They will be 18 in the next episode.
What is that supposed? Why is 18 significant to you?
Just when there's a
Back then,
child,
they do
you
not
feel
care.
you
12
personally
is good
feel
enough
better.
back then.
Can we talk about that? That was pretty awkward when he's walking with the 12-year-old, and I wanted to crawl into a little ball and die.
Yeah.
Yep. The bridge
It was
scene.
uncomfortable. The bridge scene was
with
awesome.
the dragons.
The bridge scene was so cheesy. Like, the visual was cool, but the fact that, like, Damon lost every sense of credibility he had as a human being when he was just like, here's the egg. Like, you just got in my face. Like, he could have pushed her off that ledge in a second. And he was just like, you know what?
She's family, bro. Would you shove your sister off of a bridge? It's basically like their relationship.
No, I would not.
Well, you'd probably give the egg back and turn around.
He's also her uncle. So a little different. And
they seem to be close. They're definitely close in those times. He
seems differently wired than other people, where he is already trying to mess over his family because his family's messing over him. It was just so corny of how easy it was for her to just ride in on her dragon and be like, big battle looming. You know what? I'll just give you the egg back. What was the point of even taking it?
There was no battle looming, though, because Damon's dragon could have just nuked the entire...
There was another dragon.
Squad.
That's a battle.
Yeah, before Rhaenyra got there, I'm saying. She had to come.
There was still a battle looming when she got there. I thought it was going to escalate even more. I thought we were going to get a dragon fight right there. Nope. Just a little wordplay.
I actually think it would be best if you didn't watch the show anymore.
Good thing you can't control my eyeballs because I won't be stopping. So
you're not going to watch Sunday Night Football either?
No, I'm going to do what a normal person does and watch it on like Tuesday. I almost sent you guys a clip from the Pat McAfee show of them making fun of people who are going to watch Thrones over Sunday Night Football. And I was like, I just at Alex and Evan. It was so funny.
I don't need to watch the Packers Bears the second week. Don't need to watch it.
What do I need to watch that for?
Darnell Mooney breakout.
I don't have any players on either team.
Just football. Anyways, back to quickly what I don't like from Alex and some Thrones fans that protect it is they like, if you don't agree it's good, you just like don't know television is what they tell you. Like that's their defense. It's
my defense is that you've seen like 10% of all of Game of Thrones, and that's why I just don't really care about your opinion about the show because you haven't really seen everything. You watched a 2-hour YouTube video to recap it.
Yeah, but I know
it's different.
A ton about it. I've watched at least 3 full seasons of it. It's not like I just am just jumping into it now. I know how Thrones works. I understand conversations are important. Another thing I did not mention in my text is that I watched the first episode right into that one, and the first one's so great that the second one put me to sleep. I was like, this is so boring compared to what I just watched. So that also plays a factor.
I almost liked the second one just as much, if not more.
Well, that's crazy. The first one was jam-packed of action. We had a live joust happening as a woman was getting killed through a C-section. It was just like, what? What is happening?
Yeah, I didn't really like that scene. It was gross.
Oh, yeah, I can't watch that. I close my eyes, but I can kind of see it flashing back and forth. I can't watch needles going into bodies. It freaks me out.
There's no needles, Grant. It was just a knife, and you could see everything.
Worse.
It was rough.
Yeah. So that's Thrones. I'm not going to promise we're going to become a Thrones weekly show, but it was top of mind this weekend
There's a decent chance we talk
football's
about
not
it
back
every
yet.
single time.
And then, not to bury the lead. Oh, I want to give out a quick shout out to Tecumseh football. Big win, murdered the team. People are saying Michigan Center is now 8-man football after that win, but they destroyed them. And then friend reunion. Saw everyone this past weekend.
And
feels
massage.
like a long
Got a
time ago.
massage. Couples massage. Grant, tell the people about that.
Yep. So, well, first we'll start with, did anything happen? Oh, funny story on my flight going there. Spirit Airlines, shout out. They are very, Alex, don't make that face. Here's a life rule that anyone can write down. If the flight is 2 hours or less, Spirit is fine. You'll be fine. If it's 2 hours or more, maybe pay the extra for Delta. 2 hours or less, you're fine. Spirit, they're Nazis when it comes to how big your bag can be to get on this plane. They have a display out front because how they make their money is you do a carry-on bag. That's how they make money. If you just have a personal item, their flights are like $200 less than the other airlines. So they want you to carry on an item or check a bag. So they have this display out in front of their gates that says if your bag fits in this, you're good. You don't have to, every person doesn't have to put it in there. But if they spot you and they're like, hey, I don't think that bag is going to fit, you have to check it in there. And if it doesn't fit, then you have to pay probably like $90 at the gate, I imagine. I bet it's ridiculous. So there's this lady who honestly, her bag was probably smaller than my backpack. The backpack I take on these flights is huge. It's a Nike Elite gym backpack, and it's definitely it's too big to be underneath a seat, and it would not fit in their little bin. But since it's a backpack, no one says anything. So this lady's bag was smaller than mine, but it had wheels and a handle. So it was like tiny, but still had a handle. And when people see that, they're like, oh, you got to check that. So she's throwing a fit. She's like, I've flown for 5 years with this bag. What are you talking about? This bag fits under my seat. So she jams it. She's standing there. People are waiting in line to get on. She's jamming it in the thing, gets it in. She goes, see, it fits. Like all triumphant, like, good for you, lady. Can't get it out. The thing is stuck. She's trying to get it out of there now because it's too big. And she's trying to get it out. She's like, I can't get this piece of shit out. Like, so angry as people are trying to board this flight. And she finally yanks that thing out and then, like, defiantly strolls it behind her as she walks onto the plane. That was probably the only funny plane moment. And then Friday saw the greatest concert in the world that you could have seen that night. As I said on Twitter, Keith Urban, Pine Knob, 50th year anniversary at Pine Knob, Speed of Now World Tour, absolutely knocked my socks off. I'm curious for you guys, what is your guys' favorite Keith Urban song, if you had to pick one?
Whoa, that is quite the on-the-spot question.
It's hard.
There's so many, I know.
Yes, that's what I'm doing.
I'm between two, I think.
I'm between 0 because I can't think of any.
There's no wrong answers.
I gotta look some of them up, Grant. I don't know any of his songs off the top
you
of
don't,
my head.
you don't
Besides
have to.
Blue Ain't Your Color is the only one I know off the top of my head. Not my favorite. It's too catchy. It's just stuck in your head all the time.
I'm a long
Alex.
hot summer guy.
Nice choice. It was a hot night. Let's see. If anyone hasn't seen him in person, highly recommend it. The way I describe him, people like Keith Urban, a country singer. No, he's a rock star. Capital R, rock star.
I was just joking on my drink.
Okay, I was worried about you for a second. I was like, what's he doing? And no offense, I like Luke Combs. I like Chris Lane. I like those kind of country singers. But they can't play a guitar, or at least they haven't shown it on stage when I've seen them the way that Keith Urban can. And I think that's just what I prefer a concert sets it apart, is the showmanship. I feel like you're at a rock show with country music involved, which I love. And he's very personable, works in the crowd. Just a nice guy. He freestyles and ad-libs a lot. You guys got to feel for that. Faster Horses. Like, he'll mix in a lot of unique things. And at one point, he was just playing like riffs. And he's like, we're just messing around up here. Like, we're just having fun. We are just playing tunes. His band is phenomenal. He had one guy in the electric keyboard that did a Seven Nation Army spinoff. It was electric for the crowd. So all in all, probably the best concert I've ever seen, hands down. It was great. He played all the hits.
So I Saturday morning, well, noon, went to brunch with the Grant family and the girlfriend. And the first thing Grant's sister said to me, Keith Urban sucked.
Yep,
so
that's true.
There are already people disputing whether or not this concert was truly the best concert you've ever seen, Grant.
There's some disputes. My sister's kind of a hater when it comes to some things. She was fresh off of
putting her on blast.
She was fresh off a Lee Brice concert maybe a month or so ago that I also was at, and I was telling her like Lee Brice does not hold a candle to Keith Urban, and she loves Lee Brice. It's just her preference. She doesn't like when she would just prefer an artist. I'm curious what you guys think. If you go to see someone, she prefers if they just play their songs in a row and don't. So I guess I should back up. What Keith would do is he'd play a song and then he'd leave like the last chorus and then he'd like kind of do a guitar solo, change things up, and then like really build back up into it for that last chorus. She doesn't like that. She just wants the song straight through and move on to the next one, which I think is super lame because you might as well just play on a recording if you want to see that. I like ad-libbing. I like spicing up the song so it's different. So that was where she was coming from.
Yeah, I don't agree with her. I don't think I just would want to listen to them sing just straight through. I mean, I'm there for the performance as well.
Yeah.
I'm there for the performance, but I don't want the rendition to be so bad and like so off that it ruins the song.
AKA
the Eric Church.
Eric Church, AKA Springsteen. Don't ruin it for me.
Yeah, don't change the song.
But I'm like Alex. I'm there for the performance. If you put on a great performance, show some entertainment, you're up there to entertain people. That's what I'm there for.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see some flames and fireworks in the background, and you probably got me hooked. I like bright lights.
Yeah, he had a great light show. He dropped confetti at the end, so that's confetti to close
got
it
me.
out.
I'm hooked probably then.
Knock on him that I had, I'm unbiased. He did the cheesy encore thing, so that was not great.
I'm pretty sure everybody does that though.
Yeah,
I couldn't tell you someone who hasn't done that.
The difference
in the
with
last
him
several
though,
years.
I guess if I have to defend him a little bit, he played all the hits. He just saved like one kind of obscure slow song to like close it out, and he went and put on a Tigers jersey, so it was kind of cool. And then he just closed it out.
That would work for Evan
Tigers
Flashy.
jersey?
Yeah, I think it was custom. I think it just said Urban.
Oh, didn't say Bobby Higginson on the back?
No. And also, this is a weird thing I guess artists do. Like, Pie Knob he just kept calling it Detroit. Like, are you ready to party Detroit? And like, if you're from the state, like, well, we're not really in Detroit right now, but like, you just have to say the biggest city you're near. You can't like, come on, Clarkston, get on your feet. So it made sense. But all in all, great concert, which led into Saturday. So I'll go fast and I'll let you guys talk more about Topgolf because I've been rambling here. But to set it up, I realized I'm an incredibly gullible person, which I kind of already knew, but it went to extremes this weekend. As Alex has told me many times, when it comes to being in a relationship, the key is to be a good listener, to take mental notes when things are repeated, and really, yep, that's something that we should do together, or that's something that's going to happen. And with that being said, Marissa would tell me, many times that, hey, I've never had a massage, but she's like, they're great. We should get a couples massage at some point. Oh, cool. That sounds good. I did not plan one for this weekend because it would have happened late to be able to do. But we were talking about our weekend logistics, and she's like, hey, 6 p.m. on Saturday, that's the only thing I have something planned for us. It's a surprise. I'm like, okay. She's talked about a couples massage at least a handful of times. And somewhat recently when she said that, I was like, I bet I know what it is. Is it a couples massage? And she just kind of like, but it was like a smirk. And I was like, okay, it's a couples massage. And when I tell you I ran with that as being correct, I ran with that. I told multiple people. I told my family to mention brunch earlier. Yep, Marissa booked a couples massage for her. Like it was set in stone. That's what we were doing. I saw Alex and listener Drew talked about an hour and a half to 2 hours of different situations that might arise during a massage that could be uncomfortable. And they knew the whole time and they played into it like geniuses. And then we're driving for the massage and we get kind of close to Topgolf in Auburn Hills. And also, Topgolf wasn't on my radar because we had talked before when I used to live there with Alex that it's impossible to get into Topgolf. It is like the most exclusive place in the entire country. It's always booked months in advance. So I'm like, there's no way we're going here. We turn into the parking lot. I'm like, oh, we're actually going to Topgolf and on massage. This is cool. So I'm like, all right, it's just us two. So let's do it. So we're sitting there getting drinks. Alex and Drew show up next to us. I'm like, oh, did they like just find out? Did you invite them when we were all hanging out and I went to the bathroom? Like, cool. No idea. And then a couple minutes later, whole friend group, Evan included, shows up. And there's like 8 or 9 of us. I'm like, oh my God, this is like a real surprise reunion. So that was cool. Topgolf was awesome. I'm curious your guys' thoughts on Topgolf as a whole, because I believe this is both of your guys' first time there.
It's a good time. Yeah. I mean, it's like bowling, but with golf clubs. That's how I would describe it. A little nicer setup, depending, I guess, on the bowling alley you go to. But yeah, pretty fun. Good time.
Very good time. Fun time. Activity was fun. Drinks were good. Service, low quality. Food, low quality.
Yeah, that was gonna be my gripe. A little overpriced for the service and the food.
Yes. Now I'm not hating on the our waitress. They're probably super understaffed nowadays, and she was probably running way more than she should have. But service below average. I enjoyed my drinks that I got, and golf was fun. The games that you got to play, the options of games that you got to play were a good time. So
they were fun.
Overall, I enjoyed myself at Topgolf very much.
I'm sure I'll be back at some point in my life.
Yep.
You guys want to talk about the final minute of golf and what the psychology does to your brain, where you're just going to get off as many golf balls as you feasibly can?
Well, for anyone that doesn't know how it works in the booths, you have a time limit. And it shows you the time on the screen. So it got to a minute. We finished our game, and I was like, well, I'm just going to rapid fire as many shots as I can, get, my money's worth. And I look over, Evan is also doing the same thing. So we just rapid fired and hit as many golf balls as we could at the end while they were moving. So we're hitting moving golf. I was hitting moving golf balls. I don't know if Evan was.
I had my driver. I was putting it on the tee, grabbing it, put it on a tee swing, grab it, put it on a tee swing.
And at that point, Evan had switched to the hand sensor to get the ball to come out. So there was no confusion with the club.
So yeah, that was fun.
Piping shots, both of you in the final minute. It was actually quite a sight to watch.
Fast golf is the best golf.
Did either of you have any other big things from this weekend? Maybe your golf league, was it fun night?
Fun night. Evan didn't go.
I haven't.
Coaching. Just started coaching.
You preached all summer how this league need to have more fun, and then you missed fun night.
Out.
So what happened?
They didn't even golf. They barely golfed.
Well, Evan, please let me explain. So I hit one shot, started dumping. Everybody's in the cart barn. I mean, because it started pouring. So we're all in the cart barn, including the cart girl. So people are doing shots just in the cart barn, playing cards until the rain slowed down so we get to the clubhouse. Went to the clubhouse. Once it settled down, made steaks on the grill, got our awards for, winning the league.
Nice.
Money pays out through fifth, and then also birdie leader. Shout out on her.
Nice.
And then it stopped, and we were going to. We all put money in at the beginning of the night to do for the fun night games. It was going to be 6 3-person team scrambles against each other. So Mr. Kapnick, Drew's father, was returning the money to everyone, and then someone was like, well, what if we just go out and play 4 holes, 2-man teams, scrambles?
Idea guy.
So we did that. We played 4 par 3s. We played 7, 8, and then 9 from 200, and then 10 in 2-man scrambles. The winning team was Dave. So shout out Dave.
Nice.
I
his
believe
partner?
he does listen to this podcast. He labeled himself a B player, so how it worked is A players were captains, and then you pick from the Bs. I was the last. I got to pick last because I was the highest A. So
Not a big deal.
I didn't get to pick.
Best player on the tour.
I didn't get to pick, so I just got
Liv is
stuck
signing me
with.
tomorrow.
Just got stuck with
Shooter
whoever.
McGavin.
But he labeled himself as a B player, and so he was like the second pick. He was with can't remember his name. Nito? Last name Nito?
Pereira.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Gilbert Nito.
Or Jay.
Jay Nito.
He was with one of them. Okay. They shot even on the 4 holes. As I mentioned, I did not get to pick my partner, but we used every single one of my shots. And we shot one over.
Who's your partner?
God, chop.
Off the record, because I don't know his name, but took every single one of my
So
shots.
you get to ride in a cart with him?
Nope, I stayed in the cart with Lou. And he rode by himself.
Oh. So what was Lou doing? Just didn't have a
Lou
partner?
was with Josh, who was already in a cart with TJ. Because all our carts were in the cart barn.
So you guys
we
all
didn't
played
wanna-
together in the same hole?
Yeah, we had 20. No, not 20. Probably like 18 people all playing these holes at the same time.
Jesus.
Oh, never mind. That makes sense then. Never mind.
Madness.
So, finished second. And then we played 18 in the pitch black. I mean, it was actually dark. And my father and Bob makes a 12-footer for birdie on 18 to take the money and the extra money.
That's
So
like
shout
an
out
eagle.
Bob.
That's like an eagle in the daytime.
Yeah.
A bird in the
that-
dark.
Scramble.
Eagle in the daytime.
Scramble
Get that on a
birdie.
shirt. It's printed out. Shot of Michigan Sports was here first.
Birdie in the dark, eagle in the daytime.
And and then we also haven't, you remember you posted that picture in the clubhouse by yourself at like 8:30 p.m. one night, complained
Beautiful
on here
picture.
the next day that no one stayed.
Yeah.
People were forced to leave the golf course on Monday.
Wow. Are you one of them? Probably not.
I was one of the last people there, yes.
Oh,
People
wow.
didn't want to go home.
Because this is my final thing. How much money do you guys think at this current point in your life you've spent on alcohol?
During school, it's way more. In the summertime, it's way less.
A concrete number, Evan. Just guess. For example,
Like for a whole year?
No, in your life, how much have you spent?
Oh,
For
Jesus.
example, the males on the golf league age 50 to 55 all agreed upon a number per week and came out to around anywhere from $100,000 to $150,000 in their life.
Jesus. I don't know.
I think I have a good number for us.
Times 6.
And Evan,
I
you're
would
going to
say,
wish you
like,
had that money.
Yeah.
Maybe like $5,000.
No, it's more.
You think so?
Yeah.
It's probably somewhere between $30 to $40 a week since the age of 18.
I don't. I disagree.
Mine's a little
I don't
less than
think it's
18. I
that
would say
per
mine's
week.
at like, mine's as soon as 21 hit.
There's some weeks, though, Grant, that you're like spending way more
Yeah.
than that.
But
And
I
some
would,
that you're spending way less. So that's why
week.
it's an average. And that comes out to roughly $15,000 in our life.
yeah,
Yeah, you make money just to spend it on alcohol.
We're like, yeah, we all could pool this money together and we could have bought, a nice mansion on a lake or something.
How many years were you factoring in?
Roughly college, whenever you started college is probably the best.
I'll do 8 to be safe. I was doing 60. If you,
Grant, I
average-
watched you in New York with Evan and I there buy 4 vodka Red Bulls that was at least $100.
That Miami tab too. I bought like 3 drinks.
I mean, there's plenty of times where it's like a crazy
More,
number.
Yeah. But if I would say like an average of like
A case
15,
of beer is $20.
an average of like 50. But I'm not buying a case of beer a week.
Okay.
I think I'm just also stuck in the mindset of living out here by myself where I haven't been spending money on alcohol at all.
Well, that's.
But I'm trying to think back to past grandpa.
In college, I can say guaranteed.
Grant's
I was
driving
at
down in La
least spending
Fonda,
$20
making the
a week.
road trip Labor Day weekend, this exact weekend, Labor Day weekend.
I mean,
to
how
Michigan
much are you
State.
spending
How
on
much
just
are you
Labor Day
spending that
weekend
weekend?
in East Lansing?
probably,
At least $100.
probably at least like 150, depending on how much we're going out.
And anytime we go to the bar, your $8 Coronas are just going to pile up. I mean, shots for everybody.
They're not $8 in East Lansing.
$6.50.
They're with tip, pretty close.
And you catch the bar on the right night, you can get them for less than $5.
No, you cannot.
Wednesdays you can.
I think it's closer to 5,000 than 5 figures.
For how many years, Grant?
8. Maybe 7. I wasn't really boozing hard at the age of 17. I also in college I buy a lot of liquor bottles that would last a while to pregame.
So you think you spend $12 a week on average for alcohol?
My average was around 15 a week, 60 a month is an average baseline. Definitely go over that certain times. I think I'm closer to 5K than 5 figures. I'll stand by that. But I have no idea of tracking this down. I couldn't tell you.
I promise that is low.
All right. You're probably
Unless
what you think.
Butler just differently.
What did you
Butler's
say? You
different.
think you're probably 25K?
15. That's like $40 a week since I started college. I can guarantee my sophomore year I bought a case of Bud Light every single week.
That's pretty hard.
Every time Evan ever visited me my freshman year, he brought a case of something. So he's spending $20 every time he comes, which was every weekend.
Nice run at Ann Street where we were buying a case of seltzers every single week. You could book it.
And now at
And
bars,
wine.
we spend way more. We spend way more now.
Yeah.
You don't because you're now.
No, I do. I was adding up the tally from this past week. I could have bought like 2 more flights. I was like, damn, that's a lot of little purchases.
Yeah, I was gonna say I spent at least $100 this Saturday night alone.
Topgolf will do that to you.
So yeah, that is what kept us there for so long. Everyone's drinking beers and trying to figure that number out.
Drinking beers and talking about buying beers. What a combo.
Yeah, and real estate.
Nice. You guys want to get into some football before college football?
Football.
Hard Knocks roundup. Evan, what did you take away from this last Hard Knocks?
I feel bad. Alex, you go first.
Oh,
You about to bury someone?
I'm
Evan?
an episode behind. I did not catch Tuesday's episode.
Oh, no problem. That's okay.
Oh.
So are you okay with spoilers?
Absolutely. It doesn't matter.
First takeaway. Unfortunate David Blau got waived today, but he had a gritty performance in Pittsburgh. He's not that good, but he left it all on the line.
That was Matthew Stafford versus the Browns.
I mean, he was hurt. He's throwing little shuffle passes. He just did whatever it took.
Some reckless shuffle passes.
A lot of respect for David Blau.
I did watch a lot of that preseason game. Holy cow. I watched way too much.
Most watched preseason game in the last 10 years.
It had more viewers than
Alex,
was
huge
the
ratings
NBA.
guy.
NBA
It had
playoffs, or is
almost as many viewers as the first episode of House of Dragons.
Football.
Sunday afternoon, just
Sunday
everyone was
afternoon preseason football.
I did not watch a snap of it. I was stunned by these shuffle passes. I was actually invested. I'm watching it for the first time. I was like, damn, what a play, David.
Yeah, he did 2 of them on the same drive.
It was sweet.
One was a touchdown.
Reckless.
So yeah, a lot of respect for David Blau, embodying Dan Campbell's motto of grit.
Yep. Good luck at your next stop, though.
Yeah. Well, practice squad is life.
All right. The PS. My first observation from the whole vibe of the show, Evan, which you'll see, the theme is the cutting process in the NFL seems incredibly stressful. Incredibly.
I thought Dan was going to cry.
The high-level meetings they are having where every single person that is making somewhat important decisions in the company on the football side is all in one room, basically putting everything out there on the cutting room floor. They only showed us snippets and they were still intense. I can't imagine the things they say about the guys that they can't show. Like, no, this guy's a POS or this guy's soft. Like, they probably just air every single thing out. You got all the coaches, you got all the executive personnel staff, and basically Dan and Brad are just facilitating, asking questions, and they're just retaining all the information. They write it all down, sort it out in their manila folders, and they go and discuss, like, all right, what are we actually going to do based off of that? It was crazy.
When Dan was asking everybody in the room about Craig Reynolds, he's like, we know what Craig is. You know, how would the team feel if we cut him? And they're all like, well, we can't cut Craig.
Yeah.
It's got to be awkward. Making a decision, and then next day be like, oh wow, you cut one of my favorite players in my position room. Thanks, Dan.
Yeah. The position coaches I feel like are really good. Hank Fraley, that guy does not mess around. He basically told a bunch of offensive linemen they're not worth a shit and they don't belong in the NFL.
That was an intense post practice huddle. You thought, usually be like, all right, great practice today, guys. He's like, nope, a lot of you are never going to play in this league.
Yeah. So some of you just need to wake up.
Yeah, that's funny. That made me laugh a lot.
Let's see. Oh, we got an answer. Evan, we know who is calling plays for the Detroit Lions.
Ben
Johnson is calling plays.
Is he going to get it removed from him
potentially
like last year?
That would seem like it'd be a terrible strategy to have him call plays in training camp for that to change. So I'm going to go into the assumption he is calling plays week 1.
Amon-Ra called him a genius.
Ben, you a genius.
Yeah.
Ben is
also. I would call anybody a genius if he gives me the ball more. Just so like my next paycheck, my next contract actually is just out of this world.
That's fair.
And that's what Ben's trying to do.
I would hype up my offensive coach so much if I was Amon-Ra. Just so much.
When Jared Goff said coaches, I laughed.
Yeah. Context of that, Evan, was they showed the behind this.
The no coaches practice. I saw a bunch of tweets just rattle them off on my time feed when that day happened. Like, people were blowing their mind, like, I can't believe this is happening.
Dan Campbell is a living genius.
Dan Campbell is changing the way the sport of football.
I'll be honest, that practice looked like no one knew what the they were
doing. When Alex Anzalone was setting up indie drills for linebackers, I was like, yeah, he's moving like at a snail's pace. There's zero intensity to setting this up.
No, and Tracy Walker's like, yeah, no, do this. And the guy's like, wait, what do you want me to do? He's like, yeah, just shadow him. Like, they looked so unorganized.
Ragnall's like calling out adjustments on the fly. Like, no, we'll just do it this way. It's like, okay.
Tim Boyle was calling plays.
Yep.
Shout out Tim Boyle.
Good stuff, JG. Good stuff right there. Jared Goff threw an absolute dime to, I think it was Khalif Raymond in the back corner of the end zone to end that practicer in the show. It's crazy.
Jared Goff, takeaway. Back. Elite. Good.
Yep.
They made him seem like he's a budding star again.
Can I tell you guys one thing, and you're going to think I'm paranoid? Because, yes, Jared Goff looked phenomenal in what they shown. I was a little sleepy when I was watching this, but I was still awake, and I rewound this one scene like 5 times to see if I was crazy. I was a body language reading expert. In one of the big like cut meetings they were happening, Mark Brunell was going on and on about how Jared Goff is looking phenomenal. And Evan, I want you to dial in. Alex, you can go back and watch it. Tell me if I'm crazy. It's going to sound crazy. When Brunell's talking, Antoine Randall kind of like leans up in his seat and like looks at him down the line. And then Deuce kind of like sits back with his hands up like this and like looks at Dan Campbell, and Dan also sits back. And it gave me the vibe that they think Mark Brunell is like hyping up Jared too much, and maybe they're seeing things in practice that were like not great, and they're like, maybe relax on how good Jared Goff is.
What the hell are you talking about?
The body language was they all, when you like someone says something, you like sit back and like he's saying that, like, and Deuce kind of shot Dan a look like, what the hell is this guy talking about?
Well, Grant, you need to also remember this is a television show, and they could be showing reactions to something else while that was happening. That happens in TV all the time.
No, that was a live uncut scene. Like, you could see Mark talking and the reactions happening next to them. Like, it was a wide shot.
No, maybe I am worried. Well, it makes sense because Brunell is in charge of Blau and Boyle, and they suck.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I saw Nick Baumgartner tweet, credit to him, there is real question marks of this staff of evaluating QB talent because they have not proven they know how to find a good quarterback just yet.
Well, the jury's not out on Jared, but...
Right, but also keeping Boyle and Blau for as long as
the backup situation's been very bad, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we knew Boyle was garbage last year. I can't believe
you gave us, when you gave us his Connecticut stats, my jaw dropped, and I was like, that is what he put on tape to get to this point. I can't believe he was even at this point.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
And that kind of goes to my point. It's so boring. We just need the season to start that all of Lions Twitter is invested in a QB backup battle. Like, I really don't care. And I like these guys and they're cool. But here's the hard truth about the NFL, and people just need to realize this. Almost every single team, if they lost their starting quarterback, is going to be screwed. There's just not enough of them that are good. So, yeah, like you can try to get a better backup quarterback.
Sean Hill back.
But it really doesn't matter. In the rare case of a Matt Castle making the playoffs, or, when Kaepernick came on, Jimmy G here and there, it's like there's only a few of them that have ever been like, oh, that guy's actually competent. We can win games.
Nick Foles.
95% of teams out there, they lose their starting quarterback. They're done. So it doesn't really matter who you have back there. You just don't want them to be absolutely terrible.
I was going to say, in the Lions fans' defense, the guys that we put back there when Jared got injured last year were absolutely terrible, like guaranteeing you're not going to win a game with them.
David Blau to Kenny Galladay on Thanksgiving. We were back for a moment.
For one play.
Yeah.
They lost that game by 2 touchdowns.
We were back for a moment. Tim Boyle was awful. Head scratching.
One of the worst quarterbacks I've ever seen play in the National
Just had like a rocket arm.
His pick against Pittsburgh was like, what are you looking at?
Dan Lott on Audible, what the F, when that happened. Oh, when Dan was describing, Evan, this is funny. This is like the 3 ass and 2 or 1 butt cheek and 3 ass comment, 3 toes comment. He's describing during the big cut meeting. He's like, yeah, that guy had 3 what the 2 that's bullshit plays in the first half last week. And like
they were talking about Boyle for sure.
Hearing him describe like plays as like a what the F or a BS effort was funny. Like they just keep track on board. Like, yep, that's a what the F play tally.
Final take, Aiden Hutchinson looked good.
Dog, yeah. Evan. It's becoming almost irresponsible how much they're hyping him up and making me think he is a Bosa brother and just was switched at birth.
I think he is.
I hope he
think
is.
He's going to be really
He still
good.
looks really skinny at times, but that might help him.
He talks a lot of shit. It's surprising.
He said, come on, Charles, we're bad. They can't stop us, Charles. And then they went and got a sack together. It was inspirational.
Yeah, but Connor Hayward shoved him on the ground.
Yeah, that was one of those not doctored clips, but like he was already getting double team blocked and Connor did the last little push.
Yeah, and
but good for Connor Hayward.
You also think Cade McNamara is better than Peyton Thorne. Great transition.
No, I don't.
You texted us that. You did.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I sent you a tweet.
Yeah, I sent a tweet of Aiden Hutchinson falling over because I can because I root for Aiden Hutchinson.
And then I sent a tweet that I didn't agree with, but I just thought it was funny because I wanted to rattle up the group.
Cade is better than Peyton Thorne.
No, I just said his stats in a couple games were better than Peyton's.
Yeah, because Peyton didn't get to face his own defense.
See, I love that you took that tweet seriously.
Well, because there's a lot of dumb people out there in both fan bases.
Who? Just
on Twitter.
Oh. Topic 2. Great transition. Michigan State versus Western Michigan. Evan, do you need a second to look up any information about the game, as in like who's announcing it? Because I just realized I'm going to put you on the spot and we're going to play the announcer roulette game for a couple seconds.
Who's announcing it.
I don't know. I'm not looking it up. I need to guess.
I know it, and you're not going to guess it because I don't even know who they are. I don't even know who they are.
People. Dusty Dvorak?
No.
Dusty Divorce.
It's not the same people that did the Northwestern game last year.
Start talking while I pull it up. So talk about something else.
Yeah. So excuse me, guys. I'm out of practice here. This is week 1. It's preseason for everyone. The spread is -23 right now using the score app. Over under is 54 points. -1,800 on the money line. If you want bet $1 to win 0.08 cents on the Spartans. Yeah, it's really not going to be much of a game to start. Let's just talk about your guys'. How excited are you guys to drink and tailgate in East Lansing's campus? And second question is, what will you be consuming for game number 1, alcohol-wise?
First, I got to ask, Alex, isn't there alcohol sales in Spartan Stadium now? Or is that not until next year?
Next season, Evan.
But there's a live
Everything is
gambling
way.
There is
casino.
a gambling pit of some. I don't know what it looks like. I don't know if it's done or not. There's some sort of gambling something.
It's supposed to be Caesar's Sportsbook, right?
Caesar's Sportsbook is the proud sponsor of Michigan State Athletics. And there's supposed to be some game day experience with it. I don't know what it is. We'll find out.
It's going to be so nasty when there's a point shaving scandal and it all ties back to Caesars.
I do have the announcers if we want to put this in the preview. Unless
If I don't have any idea who they are, then just...
And you guys won't even get to hear them. This matters to me.
Don't need to. Go ahead.
Play-by-play is Roy Philpott.
That's not a real last name.
Roy Philpott.
Philpott.
Analyst. You know him. Andre Ware.
Oh.
Sidelines. Paul Carcaterra.
Mallory.
We got some no names.
So it's 87 degrees and sunny, a hot one Friday. How excited are you guys? What are you drinking?
I haven't decided
it's gonna be
what I'm drinking.
I want to go heavy. I want to go just like balls to the walls and just like limited amount because we don't have as much time.
Yeah, only 3 hours of tailgating because of classes.
Friday games are a little weird. They're not great.
Yeah. It's better when you're a student because you can just do whatever you want when you have to travel and you have to find parking and all that jazz. Not ideal. I might try those. I think it's what Jack Daniels comes like those mixed drinks in a can already.
You are going hard.
Like the peach and lemonade flavor ones.
Yeah, I've wanted to try those really bad.
I wanted to try ones, and it might
well.
just be like you try them. Like if you don't like them, they're probably still like 8% at least, and you just start downing at least like 6 or 7 of them, and you see how you're feeling after that, and then you go straight to beer, down like 6 or 7 of them, see how it happens.
Those usually come in like a little. Okay,
that's a good question. Don't know yet.
All right, those usually come in like a little petite pack of like 4 though, so you might, like you said, have to have a couple beers in handy if he doesn't get you drunk.
I want like a peach.
I mean, Evan just said he's going to have 7 of those and 7 of the other ones. I'm wondering if you're only there for 3 hours, Evan, you're going to have 14 drinks. I'm worried about your health and my health.
I'm going to be more than the 3. I'm getting there before 3. I can tell you.
If you drank 4 of those mixed drinks you're talking about in the span of 3 hours, you'd probably be buzzed enough.
Yeah, but my thing is, I don't want to just be buzzed. I want to be
blitzed.
Yes. So like where I'm in Nebraska, where like it comes like the second half and you just come to and like, holy crap, dude, it's the second half already.
Wow, Evan's really going for it. Good to know.
Alex, any thoughts on what what your festivities will be?
Well, there's rumblings of Rama during the day Friday.
Wow.
So that could mean I will be on a long day bender.
Get your Le'Veon Bell jerseys out.
Oh, God, you are getting there early. I'm
getting there the day before, Evan.
I can't.
I know.
Hypothetically, I can't. I don't know yet. To be determined.
So yeah, that there's talk of that. Some of the people
Are you too old for Rama?
No, never too old for Rama.
Grant, first of all, you know how many kids are in grad school at MSU?
Oh,
no,
I'm the same age as all those people.
Royal.
Yeah, that's a trying to tell. Yeah, Crown Royal, they're nice.
Including
I've never
your
had
girlfriend,
one.
Grant.
She'll probably be in class.
Plenty of people.
No, she won't be there. She's going to an SEC football game in Alabama.
Okay, well, anyways, there's plenty of people our age at a bar, Grant. It's not old. If I went to a frat party, yes. Yeah. That would be...
That's more my speed. Just kidding.
That would be, for you. But for me, I mean, I don't...
Okay, this just hit me. What kind of fits are you guys getting off? Game 1, hot weather. Is it a polo from Evan? And if so, what polo?
Well, we have to wear white.
We have to wear white. We're in the white section.
Oh, that's... I would be a terrible Michigan State fan. I hate wearing white. It looks terrible on my body. I wouldn't be able to do it.
All I have for white, options. I'm not wearing my Izzone t-shirt.
A Hanes t-shirt.
That'd be ridiculous. I have a Michigan State long sleeve.
I was about to say you should wear a wife beater and paint an S on it.
I got a Michigan State long sleeve that's white. That's the clubhouse leader.
Too hot.
The only other option is a polo. And
Alex, you can't wear a long sleeve. It's going to be 87 degrees.
I am much better equipped for warm weather than most because I'm always cold.
What does that even? Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're getting all defensive.
You got a
Classic
white
Michigan
polo,
fan
Evan?
thing to do.
Oh, yeah.
I already know what polo Evan's wearing. I've seen him wear it to Tailgate plenty of times.
Khaki shorts. Gray shorts.
I will be wearing gray
Gym shorts.
golf shorts.
Lululemon shorts.
Or black Lululemon shorts.
Reebok shorts.
No Reebok shorts.
In the actual game, let's at least try to give the people something to hold on to. Besides Marquis Lowry, where are you guys keeping your eye on this game?
Keon Coleman.
Got crossed the
A lot of offseason hype.
You're gonna be seeing if the Keon Coleman grill can heat up against Western Michigan.
Well, yeah, this is going to be the most meaningful snaps he's taken ever. So
Ohio State.
He played like 4 snaps.
I know, that's good. And not meaningful. This game is over.
Correct. So, yeah, it'll be good to see him.
Whoa, quiet down.
dog.
A thing I'm keeping my eye on, since the game really isn't going to be interesting, will Mel Tucker be wearing shorts with an 87-degree high? You saw him do it in Miami.
Forgot how everyone thought that was crazy.
It's the first time I've ever seen a coach in my life wear shorts on the sideline. So we will see if Mel Tucker keeps that trend going this season.
Night game. It won't be as hot at night.
It's going to be hot by the Red Cedar, Alex. Evan, any big things game one? Or are you just going to be so blacked out in the crowd? You're just going to try to keep it down.
I wrote down a lot of stuff, and I realized as I was writing, there's like so many things I'm going to keep an eye on.
I was trying to be brief.
Girls in the student section.
There were so many.
Co-eds.
Ice cream sandwich quality.
Ice cream sandwich. Oh my God, I can't wait for that. I'm winning the 50-50 on Friday. I can feel it in my bones.
I love that.
That would be huge for you.
It would be.
Huge for me too.
Yes. I want to see the O-line secondary. I want to see adjustments with Peyton Thorne's dad as the offensive coordinator for Western Michigan.
Did you guys know that? Holy shit, Chris Solari.
So he knows how to carve this defense. I want to see improvement there. Offensive line, how are they doing with all the departments and all the new guys stepping in? And then like all the transfers. Mainly, how well is our pass rush going to be? You know, you got the pass rush specialist. Is it going to show off against Western Michigan? Or is it like
might save it, Evan?
Or is it work in progress still 2 or 3 years down the road?
The BJ effect.
And then linebacker play. 2 transfers, Burrell and Windman. I want to see what positions they're lining up at and how much are they playing.
You know Evan's a real ball knower because he started off his keys to the game or things he's watching with the offensive line. Find another show that's going to start off game one. I'm looking at the O-line, the big uglies. That's what I'm focused on.
I need to see it. I need to see improvements on the offensive line, in the run game especially. Kenneth Walker was... Yes, the offensive line did help, but Kenneth Walker did mask a lot of the problems in that situation.
I'm intrigued with this whole Thorne family storyline. How will Peyton Thorne giving secrets to his dad?
Will he throw an interception on purpose?
Will the secrets help Jeff Thorne and the Broncos? I don't know. We'll see how that goes. In all seriousness, my eyes will be locked on the RB room for Michigan State because we flash back to last year. Evan in Evanston, Alex and Grant sprinting into a house in the UP to catch the first action of Michigan State football. Touchdown to the house. We realized the Heisman contender was unfolding in front of our eyes. Will Broussard or Berger, who takes the first snap? Do they crib the run? Do we have a K9 2.0? I don't know. They have lofty expectations to live up to based on what I saw in Evanston last year. And that's what I'm going to be judging my overreactions on right away.
If they score a touchdown the first
This is my...
Insanity if they do. Could you imagine?
This is
running it back.
Alex, what was it? 2015. This is my 7th year in a row going to the opening game.
Wow. Longevity.
Minus COVID.
Asterisks. 7 years I was able to go in a row.
Count.
6 years in, I was able to go in a row.
This would also be the same number for me as well.
Wow.
Alex, I went to the Northwestern game, first game of the year. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. You said home opener, Evan.
Nope. Opening game.
Opening game. Elite.
You went at Western Michigan in 2015. No, you did not.
5 games, asterisk 6 years in a row. Was that the first game of the year?
Yeah, it was my freshman year. Very first game was at Western. Got a violation in the dorms.
Not a big deal.
During the game.
I did write down some things about Western Michigan. If you guys have some things, feel free to jump in and piggyback off what I say. If you didn't, I don't blame you because it's Western Michigan.
I got two big things. Two big things.
We're going to kick Ryguy's ass. Like, he's not going to know what's coming. We're going to kick his ass.
My parents' alma mater.
Will he be there in Broncos gear?
He better be.
He retweeted our hype video today.
Fraud. And he's an Ohio State fan?
Yes.
I don't know how that works.
He better be wearing Western Michigan stuff. We'll call him a fraud if he's not. Then he'd be like, oh, dude, I'm a hockey fan. Our
Alex,
hockey team's better.
What are your two big things? Or at least one of them to start.
Quarterback, gone. Receiver, gone. 2 best players on offense, gone.
For those that don't know, Caleb Ellaby, Sky Moore, drafted by the Chiefs, Alex's football team. I don't know where Caleb Ellaby went, but they're gone, and they are 2 very good offensive players for them last year. I got all the rest of my information from College Football News. Shout out to them. You'll hear that in the Colorado State preview. If you need a preview for a season, they are the place to go. I'll probably be using them for the first 3 weeks until we get actual games I can base things off of. But Western Michigan, 8-5 last year. Not amazing, not bad. They beat Kenny Pitt team last year. So that alone, you say that out loud, that alone is like, okay, there's a reason to watch. They're not going to be a pushover team. A huge factor, this is the Ladarius Jefferson revenge game. Western Michigan has the best 2 players on Western Michigan's team is their backfield. Ladarius is not even the starter. They have a guy that's better than him as a starter. 2 1,000-yard, I believe, running backs last year or just around that. So a 1-2 punch, that'll be big for them. Their wide receiver room, I was looking up, like, so who's replacing Sky Moore? There's one guy that was there, and then they got a Wisconsin and Boston College transfer, but neither of those kids, like, played at those schools. So they are, like, on a prove-it transfer right now. And then the last thing, which is big for these young lower-level teams, is all their linebackers are back, so they're going to be able to make tackles in the middle of the field. So I think the biggest thing is, like, the difference in this game. It's going to be a blowout, but, like, the real where Western's going to look bad is the trenches. They're just going to be, like, overmatched, I would guess. But they're going to have good linebackers, pesky linebackers, and they're going to have good running backs. Everything outside of that, can their QB throw? I have no idea.
Michigan State's defense last year, the only thing they were good at, stopping the run. So
there you go. Book it. So now we move to our game predictions as we do every year.
We have to do our heads on the meter.
Well, see, this is another thing I thought of today, Alex. I have an announcement for that. I don't really think it's worth it to do it this week because it's just a joke. And then we'll start it when the first real game happens, which will be Michigan State Washington week. We will start that. But it's just they're all like fire everybody if you lose because you're just Appalachian State level losses if you lose these games. So
it would be disappointing. Yeah.
Game predictions. I will start since I am the opposing fan. I have a nice, well-rounded score of Michigan State 42, Western Michigan 21.
Don't
close.
Cover. Wow,
don't cover.
I got 41-13 Dogs.
51-14 Dogs. 50 burger game.
Any defensive touchdowns in the game, Alex?
Pick 6.
One. Pick 6 from?
From? Who?
Chuck Brantley.
Oh.
Chuck Brantley back from the shoulder.
You know what? He liked the hype video on Instagram. He's ready to go.
I feel it in my bones. Might be him.
Evan, what was your prediction again?
41-13.
Okay, nice. Yep. So snooze fest there. We move on to another snooze fest. Michigan.
A worse snooze fest.
Okay, Grant.
59 new
State.
players on Colorado State.
Grant, how do you feel about the quarterback?
Yes, great question, Evan. And thank you, Jim Harbaugh, for spicing up what was the most boring start to a season of all time, potentially, until we get to Iowa. Maybe Maryland. I don't want to overlook Maryland. But there was no reason to watch this team the first 3 games of the year, but now we do. Because now we have not even an old-fashioned, a new school QB battle where you start a QB one week, then you start a new QB the next week. When I got the news at Topgolf, I was like, oh, that seems cool. And then I thought about it, I was like, that's kind of crazy. No one really ever does that. But I'm excited. I love competition. I'm a competitive freak. And it gives me a reason to like overanalyze every single snap of these games and look at the box scores and be like, oh, now who's going to win the job based on that? Equally bad opponents in Colorado State, Hawaii. I want to hate it, but it sounds like Jesus Christ himself came to Jim Harbaugh in a dream
Jeez.
of biblical level and said, Jimmy, listen here, man. This is Jesus Christ talking. You need to start Cade week 1 and JJ week 2. That's really a non-answer. I don't really know how I feel about it. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I'm more of like how the results. What do you guys think? Do you think it's a crazy thing to do? Do you think if you were coach, you'd ever do something like this? What do you think?
I don't think it's crazy. I wouldn't announce it, though, either. I would just do it.
Well, now here's the thing about that, though, that I think...
Yeah, it would cause a panic, but at least you'll be on the sideline coaching when it happens, and you won't have to have a million people asking you about it during the game.
Wouldn't you have to announce it, though? Because then, like, imagine
No.
I'm Grant. I watch Cade light up. Colorado State. JJ probably comes on in, like, midway through the third to finish it. And then the next game, JJ starting. I'm going to be like, what are we doing? Like, Cade started last game.
Yeah, I wouldn't announce it.
I like I would be mad if my head coach did that. I like knowing at least what I'm getting into.
Well, our coach tells us nothing, so.
Well, in Alex's defense would be an easier scapegoat. Like you said, you're during the game. You don't have to do the backlash until the post-game press conference, and all you have to say is, we've had this plan all along since before week 1.
Because now, this whole week, you've had a distraction. Whole week distraction, because everyone's talking about it.
On Twitter, but I don't think in the facility. I think they're all like, yep, on the same page, let's do it. I think it's actually the best way to do it. Just
I don't think so. I think there's a
let
divide in the
everyone know.
facility.
I definitely think there's a lot of guys on the team who are one guy
I think
or
this
the
is
other.
crazy. I think it's asinine as a head coach to do this. To me, it sees as an outside perspective. This is just a way to hold on to both quarterbacks without either of them transferring.
But I think that's smart.
Until
it is smart if you're a
game
quarterback,
4.
but you're just hurting the kids and you're hurting the quarterback competition. There's an open quarterback competition. You should have already had this decided. I don't see how the talent that Colorado State and Hawaii is going to put out is going to be any different that you're going to see like ones versus ones in Michigan practice.
Well, agreed. And I think if it was normal circumstances, it would have been decided. But I think JJ not being able to throw to spring ball is a big factor in this with the procedure he had to get his arm right because he was overthrowing. And I do kind of think this all comes down to this. Because you're right, they're going to tear up these teams. But like if JJ goes out and has an interception or two that look kind of bad, that's it for him. Like it's all about ball security is what I'm understanding this comes down to, where Cade just does not turn the ball over.
Yeah, Cade's not going to turn the ball over against Colorado State. He's going to be like 11 for
JJ shouldn't
15
either.
for like 200 some yards and 2 touchdowns and be like, it's another day in the park. He's not going
But
to play
if
the second half.
If JJ does that, the play against Western Michigan that ended up working to Dalen Ballin, but that's
Awful
not really
throw. Like you can't
it's not
make that throw in the Big Ten.
Exactly. So if he still has that in him and hasn't sharpened things up, I think, okay, that's too much of a liability with how Jim Harbaugh likes his football team to play, that it's like, we're going to roll with Cade and then go back to sprinkling. I still think even no matter who gets the starter role, they're still going to do like the mix and read option stuff they did last year. I don't see why they would change that.
I don't see why they would do that.
I mean, they won the Big Ten championship last year, so
Not because of that.
There's a
You
lot
lost
of
the game
play.
because of that.
Yeah, and a couple things went well in that game because of that. You live by, but that's JJ McCarthy. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. What do you want to do?
So
I don't have the right answer.
Want to do? Who do you want to start?
I want to see 80% in games Cade McNamara behind center, and I'm okay with sprinkling in JJ, as long as they like let him throw more. The problem with it last year is they were still afraid to let it rip, and it would just turn into an automatic run play. I think we talked on this podcast, like JJ's in it, they're going to run. If they can actually, because that is tough for a defensive coordinator to deal with, like having two different kind of guys and safeties and defensive backs, a mobile quarterback I think you can make it work, but it's a fine line. I want to see mainly Cade until he loses a game, and then I would turn the keys over to JJ if it's like a bad performance. That's what I would do. But
there's Cardell JT situation going on.
That's what people are comparing it to, and they're saying that they slowly weaseled JT out, and people are like, is that what they're doing with Cade? They're just slowly trying to get him out and letting like JJ, if JJ blows up against Hawaii, it's like, oh, we have to play in week 3.
Didn't JT end up being the starter after Cardell took over because Cardell got hurt or something?
It's not how I remember it, but I don't 100% know. I'm pretty sure Cardell.
I just know as
over.
a Michigan State fan, I don't remember ever playing Cardell Jones in a football game.
I think Cardell played, and then he went to the NFL, and then JT was still lingering, and then he came back. But this is different because like Cade's gone no matter what after this year, so you just after this year it's JJ's show.
Why?
So
Cade has 3 years of eligibility.
No, he doesn't. It's his last year. I've looked into it. I've researched it all. He's
just saw one of your Michigan fanboy accounts tweet out remaining eligibility, and they had the same amount. I'll find it. I'll send it to you.
I'm going to disagree with it until it's true because I can't believe that's the case because I can't deal with another year of this. This has to be the last year. You can't do this next season if they're both there. You can't keep doing this. There has to be a decision made at some point. Anyways, as we move on to the game, what are you keeping your eye on besides the quarterback battle?
That.
I don't really have a ton outside of that. I did find this interesting note about Colorado State. So you guys are familiar with how Lincoln Riley went to USC and took like a bunch of Oklahoma players with him.
Mm-hmm.
Colorado State's coach, last name Norvell, was at Nevada. He did the same exact thing at Colorado State. So that's just a chart. Oh, I'm refusing not to believe that until it proven otherwise. And really, it doesn't matter because then one will transfer.
Even Alan Bowman has 2 years left.
We'll see. Anyways, back to the point. Oklahoma USC is the same as Nevada, Colorado State. So, Nevada last year was okay. Because basically, when you're talking about Colorado State, you have to talk about Nevada last year. They beat Colorado State 52-10. Which is actually, I wish like we were more in depth on these teams. It's kind of crazy. You beat a team 52-10. The team that lost by 42 takes your head coach and all your players. So they must have dropped an absolute bag for that to happen. Like imagine if that happened in the Big Ten. Now Nevada, this is how it all ties in, guys. Nevada played Western Michigan in the most prestigious bowl game. That's now on New Year's 6, the Quick Lane Bowl. And Nevada lost to Western Michigan 52-24. So
why I watched that game, I had COVID. Fun fact.
So, Nevada, probably not that good, which is basically now Colorado State. Colorado State is like the Mel Tucker Michigan State of last year. Their whole team is transfers. Like their whole all 5 offensive linemen are transfers. Never
56 new players on that team.
Crazy. So, I really have no idea how any of this translates other than those 2 scores I saw. I don't think they're going to be very good, but they'll probably be like okay, like competent. I couldn't tell you much about them. That's all I really got. And I think I'm ready for predictions.
Can I finish my Cade eligibility rant with
Yeah.
one more thing that makes sense? Cade McNamara arrived in 2019, redshirted. 2020, COVID year. So it doesn't count against your eligibility. 2021, last season, freshman. 3 years of eligibility left. JJ, 2021, freshman. They're identical. They're identical eligibility. Now, Cade can leave and go to the NFL after this year because he's been in college 3 years. But in terms of eligibility, he'll have 3 seasons left, including this one. So 2 after this season.
That's crazy.
Same with JJ because he did not redshirt.
That's crazy. Well, here you go.
It'll never end. 3 more years.
I'm cool with it if they both play and win
You
Big
just
Ten
said you're
championships.
not cool with it.
Yeah, no, I did. I just, for now, I want Cade to be 80-20.
For 3 more
So
years.
Yeah, I will do that for 3 years if it's a Big Ten championship every year. All that matters is the results. I don't care how the team gets there. I don't need to have a poster child for Michigan football quarterback. I'm cool with too if they are both good and do different things. But I have the right to reserve it from August 31st if it goes poorly. I'm like, well, that didn't work. So pick one. Predictions. Will one of you guys like to start for this game?
51-14.
I'm an idiot. Evan, this game's on ABC at noon.
Oh, it's Dan Orlovsky.
I got...
Announcers.
Oh, I got to see the rest of the games during the day. Give me a second. Pause. Give me a second.
Spread is, I'll get that out now. Michigan is minus 31 point favorites. Over under of 62, minus 3,500 on the money line. That is fat.
Yeah.
That's a lot of points.
Yeah, that is.
Saturday. There's a lot of games. Okay.
Evan just goes
ABC
so
on
into-
Saturday.
Don't you know, though, who Alex said that has to be it? He does those games all.
He does every Michigan game.
He's doing NFL this year now, so I don't
Dan
know how that
Orlovsky was
impacts.
stuck with 50 Michigan games last year.
Yeah, Bob
bringing it up.
Schusen and Dan Orlovsky is my final guess.
Did you?
How is that? Oh my god, the blue wall is so real, bro.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Noon slot ABC.
That's
North
national
Carolina,
TV.
Appalachian State should be noon on ABC.
No. Yeah, actually, Appalachian State deserves it for the upset they pulled. That's fine. They can have that.
That's just an in-state rivalry.
Oh, Dan Orlovsky is going to be salivating over this QB competition. That is up his alley.
Could be Greg McElroy and
Joe Tessitore.
Joe Tessitore.
I feel like they're going to
can-
get. I feel like they're going to get.
I just found a
Oregon
website
Georgia
that tells me.
You found the announcer website, Grant?
I did. It's called 506 Sports.
Is it officially Dan Orlovsky?
Let's see. Roy Philpott. I just saw that name.
Is it Roy Philpott? I was trying to look up the name.
Whoa. Mark Jones.
And
Who's that?
RG3.
In RG3.
And RG3. And Quint Kusinich.
They did didn't they do the
Does
Peach?
this mean?
They think
does
they
this
did
mean-
the Peach Bowl.
They
Does
did
this
do the
mean
Peach
what I
Bowl.
think it means? Does this mean that Orlovsky, because of his newfound success calling NFL games, that he's no longer doing college football?
Yeah, I don't see him on here.
Devin Gardner's on main FS1 now? Whoa, what a come up for him.
He's going to be
Yeah.
horrendous, bro.
Evan.
I listened to him call.
No, I'm wrong. Utah at Florida, Bob Wishoes and Dan Orlovsky.
Good game.
That's
Really?
7 o'clock prime time on ESPN. That means Sean McDonough's doing the Georgia game.
No,
Oh.
he's not.
Yes. No, he is.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, he is.
No,
He has to.
Sorry,
No.
Alex.
he's not.
He's 100% Sean McDonough and Todd
Chick
Blackledge on the
Hernandez
Georgia
and
game.
Randy Cross.
That's just not true.
That's CBS Sports Network.
Ew, I feel
Brock
so bad.
Osweiler is announcing on ESPN.
He's an announcer now.
I feel
My
so
God.
bad.
They just
I feel
give anybody
so,
a job.
I feel so bad for Brad Nessler and Gary Danielson. Can you guess what their game is at 3:30?
Isn't Arkansas Cincinnati?
No, it's like this is one of the biggest weekends of college football that we have.
That
and there's a
game's
lot-
on CBS.
Yeah, did you just find it? It's disgusting.
Brady Hoke.
Houston,
Arizona and San Diego State on 3:30 on CBS. Brad Nessler and Gary Danielson.
No wonder they lost out on the right steal. What is that?
That is
Yeah, that's a good
awful.
question. I mean, when is the Arkansas game?
It's 3:30 on ESPN. Who's doing that game?
No, 3:30 ESPN is. Oh no, you're right. Dave Fleming and Rod Gilmore. Ew. I don't even know who that is.
You'll know
I wish we
Dave
had
Fleming.
Clay Matvick and Rocky Bowman.
Rocky Balboa.
Holy
Beth
if
Mowens.
this-
Can
is
you
this-
tell me what game Beth Mowens is doing?
Beth Mowens is
She's doing Penn State Purdue.
She's
No,
doing some
That's Gus
10:30
Johnson and Joel
p.m.
Klatt.
10:30 p.m. night action.
No, she
What? Beth.
No, she's a first day late.
Boise
10:30
State
Boise
at
State,
Oregon State.
Ryan Leaf's in the booth.
I found Joe Tessitore and Greg McElroy.
Tim
LSU,
Hasselbeck?
Florida State on Sunday.
Oh, they get primetime action? They ain't that good.
They get the only game on Sunday.
Lisa Bennington in the morning.
Bynington.
Oh, and Dave Pash and Dusty Dorvacek for Clemson, Georgia Tech.
Dave Pash is pretty good. I like him.
Sorry, I'm just like lost in the sauce now. I don't know why announcers are so fascinating.
Chris Fowler and Kirk I think are doing the West Virginia Pitt game.
We get Gus and Joel for the Penn State Purdue game.
Yes, it's the opening Fox game.
College football is officially back when that. I will not be watching the Backyard Brawl simply because wait, it's an abomination. He seems like a nice guy, but I can't listen to that voice call a college football game.
I thought it was Chris Fowler and Kirk Herbstreit doing that one.
Matt Berry and Louis Riddick.
Matt Berry's fine.
The anchor that used to be an anchor, and now
I know Matt
games.
Berry. I'm sure he's
Matt
fine.
Berry is not good calling games, Alex.
No.
I'm sure he's fine.
You know what this is? This is Steve Levy 2.0. Steve Levy is cheeks at calling games.
Evan, did you see Jason Benetti does football now for Fox?
Yeah, he did the Nebraska game.
Yeah,
he's a do it all.
Well, he doesn't
works
do
for
ESPN
NBC.
basketball anyway.
He works for NBC for the White Sox.
He's electric.
Fox for football now. ESPN for college basketball.
He does what he wants.
Well, he's doing Central and Oklahoma State.
On what day?
Thursday.
He's
Fox
doing UTEP
Sports
in
One.
Oklahoma. He's doing UTEP in Oklahoma on Saturday. That guy just doesn't stop working.
That guy is a
Holy
grinder.
cow, give him a break.
Put him on Dan Campbell's staff. The dude
his
is
partner,
gritty.
his partner is Brock Heward now. It looks like for the big games. So that's
That's
gonna be his
on
partner.
FS1. ESPN, who's his partner.
I like Brock.
I do like Brock.
Mm.
Some people don't. But our boy Philpott, Roy, dude,
I need some
Philpott.
Roy Philpott highlights.
dude, he doesn't have a forehead. He has a
Look
five
him
head.
up.
He has a
Oh,
five
wow.
head.
He does.
This
Sorry,
dude
Roy, for the
is-
ricochet shots.
Oh, dude, it just keeps on growing every time you look at it. Oh,
This is my promise
it's
to you.
a
For those that are
massive, massive frontal. Oh my
For
gosh,
you-
dude, I can't look at it. Dude, it's so big.
for all you sickos out there listening an hour and 20 deep about announcer talk, I will take a picture. You know how Big Cat does the big head pictures of Joe Buck?
Yes, you have to
I
do
will-
one of Roy.
I will do that and just say, football is back, Roy Philpott.
You looking at the same picture that I saw? It's the first one.
Yeah.
It is the first. Dude, it is just so
It's a big head. It's a two.
It's
you
like
could
someone
put two
shifted
hands.
his.
Look at that thing.
The center of his face looks like someone just shifted it down, and it just his forehead is grown.
Dude. It's so mean.
Holy!
Nobody look him up. Nobody look him up.
Oh my gosh, Alex!
I've
Dude,
ever
Don't
seen.
look him up.
Alex, find
Don't
a
look
picture
him
of him
up.
wearing sunglasses.
I found that. That's his Twitter picture.
No. Oh God, Roy.
Dude, his head's so big. All right. I can't believe anybody would still be listening at this point.
No, but they come back now because prediction time. What's your score for this game?
51-14.
Same as Michigan State's?
Yeah, same level of team, same level of opponent.
Wow.
I have 48-17.
Get the out of here. That's what I have.
Oh. Give up a little-
F-word.
You're telling me we put our brains down and we thought about a score and we both came up with 48-17.
There's no chance that Evan, are you writing out a prediction before and reading that score out? You guys are freaks. You can't just come up with a score on the spot.
No, because
No,
this is a job, Alex, and I actually do
Yeah.
my research a little bit, and I try to calculate the over-unders, the total spread.
Yeah, I picked the game. I know what's going to happen. 51-14.
Do you want to know exactly my thought process? I look at the spread. I'm like, okay, it's probably going to be close to that. Over under, it's going to be in that range. It's not going to be crazy apart. And I go, okay, I had 42-17. I go, no, Jake Moody is not going to go shut out in his first game. He's going to make 2 field goals. It's going to be 48-17. That's how I landed on it.
3 field goals.
And 3 touchdowns felt aggressive for Colorado State. I could see 2, but 3, then you're like, oh, God.
So mine was almost the same as yours. So and that was just off the dome.
Yeah. Well, you just copy and pasted your prediction. That's how lazy you are. You just copy and pasted.
No, they're playing the same level of opponent both at home.
I want
My
that as a
closeout-
screenshot for this week, Grant. Just on the
You can do
bottom of
that.
the page.
Well, also, that's a great thing. Marissa, actually, we might test it out this week, or I could do that one if you want. She did like the trace art thing on her iPad, where now we're like little cartoon figures, and it looks kind of cool.
Yeah,
I respect
pop that in there.
I'm down for that. Week 2,
And-
though, this picture right here.
It's a win-win because then using that, I'll do the flex one. And then going forward, though, I don't have to like take the screenshots. I can just copy and paste that baby.
Yeah, sometimes you do us dirty in those.
Getting a good screenshot of Alex Gillen is a lot harder than you would think.
You
just sit there, and I look up, I was like, oh my God, it's been a half hour. I'm still trying to find a screenshot. I need to move on.
That's just kind
of
mean. You don't have to have a picture of me smiling. You could just have me like looking angry.
Well, if you notice, I have probably had you smiling.
You always have me smirking.
Alex, that's why you just in the beginning just look happy when Grant's talking, just a little. No, you
just
look
perfect.
Like you fucking hate your life, Jesus.
Pose. Guys, real quick,
Try
last
this one.
question. Last question I had before we close out is, are there any things as like a fan, like, this podcast went through one whole football season, and being a fan's different when you got to give your takes. You have a podcast. We're going to be doing reaction videos as well after games for football as well, like we did for basketball.
For these games?
Those. Yes.
Alex, you know how awesome it would be as us we're walking down Chestnut
I'm a little
Road,
nervous.
just absolutely just
I'm a little nervous for this video. It's going to be on the web of just having it's a great game for the sports.
If you guys need any proof, and you can always send it to me first, and I'll make sure you guys are covered. But what I wanted to ask is there any things you're telling yourself as we go into game one that'll probably get thrown out the window, but any reminders as a fan you're trying to be like this year? How are you trying to be better? What are you changing about how you're a fan going into this football season?
I'm not changing anything.
I can give an example for what I'm thinking. I thought this day, I was like, you know what? I'm going to really enjoy each win more and not take weeks for granted.
Every week last year. That's not new.
And I got bad. Michigan got so good, I started looking ahead the Ohio State game. I overlooked some teams. I really thought I overlooked the Nebraska game, and they almost lost. And on the flip side, going into that, I'm going to extend how happy I am about a win. I'm not going to be like, all right, it's Monday, time to move on. No, I'm not moving on until Saturday's game until Thursday. Win a game. I'm happy about that win.
Before that, you won't even be able to do that.
Well, I'll talk about the next game, but mentally, I am still like, feed me all the victory content. Give me the highlights still. I mean, I'm still milking the Ohio State win, so I just realized it feels good to milk wins. It's fun, and that's what I'm going to try to do.
Milk some wins.
I've learned that I'm going to live and die with every snap of every game. It's just what I've always done, and it'll never change. And I'm just going to be a freak, and I'm going to stress myself out. That's why I'm losing my hair, because of sports. And, I can't change it, even if I wanted to. If I wanted to be like, just relax during games, it wouldn't happen.
You're losing your hair because of sports?
No, it's genetic.
I thought it was the steroids.
Oh, I wish. I'd be huge, and I have a small pecker. What?
I'm going to watch more college football this year. We do it every single. Yes, I'm going to watch more.
I have something better for you, Evan.
More.
Football related. I think you should get back into the NFL. Continue to watch all your college football, but you need to be back. You told us last year the NFL sucked, and that was very
I forgot
long.
that. Evan was fully out on the NFL until like the week before the playoffs.
It was pretty weird. Like, I haven't had a weird year about football.
That will probably happen again. He probably will. This sucks.
It's because his fantasy team sucked, and the Lions suck, and the Titans were really good.
The one seed in the AFC, never mind. I'm going to watch more college football this year. I'm going to do it. I'm just because every year we're like, oh gosh, we miss college football. No, it's just buffet it every single Saturday.
But Evan, one problem:
you have to watch it.
Tailgating at games, it's very difficult.
We are going to have to set up at tailgates, though.
Oh, we'll talk about it after the show.
I say you just bring iPads.
We will have a TV at our tailgate. We're watching football, consuming football.
What internet connection?
Stream it. Cast it from a phone.
Yeah.
Not the only casting we're doing every weekend.
I think he's saying casting a net on women.
Okay. Cut, and then, all right. It's the end of the show. Before we get to tailgate logistics, at ShotOffMS everywhere, Twitter and Instagram. To listen to the show, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, 5 stars, follow it, subscribe to it, send the link to a friend. Even if you don't want to listen to it, put it on 2x speed, let that thing play muted. It all counts the same. They don't know if your volume's on or not. So that's the least you could do. As we said, this is for free. We have not sold out our hype videos just yet. So the least you could do is just follow it, subscribe
I'm
it,
being paid.
even if you never listen to it. All right. With all that being said, cheers to close out episode 86.
Week 1, baby. So many good games. Watch them all. Watch them all, baby.
To football.
I'm going to miss the Michigan game because I have to work the state fair. There I see.
Go get the bucket of cookies, and will you just ship it to me, please?
Sweet Martha's, I've heard a lot about.
Dude, Kirk Cousins posted it, and I've seen a bunch of videos on this and a lot of like cooking shows on this. There's a bucket of just like gooey, soft chocolate chip cookies. They literally serve you in a bucket.